should I do it? Should I not do it? But the whole point that I want to make is about the movie Heat. So of course I should do it. It's the dog days of summer. They're wondering where the video is anyway. Don't worry, you'll see the cards in normal light. The video is called Heat. The dog days of summer are upon us, and your season ended with a violent splash, let's say. Right? What to do now? So many old structures have been cracked. If you got your shell caught in the eclipse door as it was closing because you wanted to hold on to something, a new little you has emerged from the shell that got caught in the door and got cracked. Bottom of the deck, Virgo, the Hermit, Four of Wands, and the High Priestess. You'll see them in the next part. That's the fun thing about having the next part. So why Heat? Well, first of all, go watch Heat because you'll see how it's so Cancerian. All the cat and mouse games, why the people in the film do what they do, their motivations, it's all very Cancerian. What we have here is the Hierophant, the King of Cups, and the Page of Wands. So if you were hanging on to a Taurus, Cancer, man, they really put you through the ringer. The King of Cups and the Page of Wands. You, however, have not stopped in your pursuit. Interesting. You are still on the offensive in that situation. Okay. You notice how sometimes Cancers will redirect their passion or their love of something just to get it away from another thing. I think a lot of what you guys are holding on to right now or feeling lost about is deflection from not wanting to deal with something that's just too hot. Like in Heat, what it comes down to for them is who they are as people. It's not that one guy wants to rob a bank and the other guy wants to catch him. It's not. It's that one guy lives a certain way and another guy lives another way, and they both sacrifice a lot for it. And in the end, it's about who you are and the things in your nature that you can't change, and some of the things in your nature that you should change, that you should make an active effort to get rid of because it will save you and lead to a happier life. And, you know, when you watch the movie, you'll see how right now it feels like you guys are De Niro, Page of Cups, thinking on whether he should go into that hotel room and off Waingro, or if he should just, you know, get going with his lady love. Passion misplaced can be quite criminal for you guys, just in how you take it out on yourself. The eclipse was not the moment for you guys to start having like a checklist of things that you're not good enough at yet, or you should have done better by now, or look where I am in comparison to everyone else, let me beat myself up now. But you may have taken it that way. What the eclipse was actually about was about getting rid of all the things that might have kept you there. It's easier to mourn the loss of something you were attached to than to see the benefit in the empty space created by the loss. And empty space right now, because it has not been of your choosing, is difficult for you. It's upsetting for you because you're cardinal and you want to make the decision yourself. The Empress. But there is a lot of abundance quickly coming for you. August is just that difficult planning phase where you have to face all that's left in the rubble from this past eclipse season and get to work. Your abundance will come through your hard work. This will not be a season for you to just attract it. It's not going to work that way. See, in heat, they're constantly talking about how they don't do what they do because it's work. They do it because they love it so much. And everyone in that movie is Cancerian in that way. Most of it is shot on the ocean. De Niro has a house right on the ocean. The couple in the film are going through intrigue and marital, intrigue and such. Very passionate. It all relates back to their purpose in life being closely tied to where their passions are. And as long as you are able to see what was left behind by the eclipse as the beneficial stuff and everything that ended up on the other side of the door as stuff you really, really didn't need, as soon as you're able to reach the High Priestess perspective, you will be able to, Eight of Pentacles, get to work. And as soon as you get to work, the Empress energy will start to manifest in your life. That energy is going to be around for at least 6 months. But the better you get on top of it now, instead of wasting any more time feeling like there's some irreplaceable loss that's happened in your life, that's just Four of Pentacles thinking. That's not real. From the High Priestess or from the Hermit point of view, you can see that that's not real. That's just you getting stuck in your worldly fears. And that's fine. It happens to everyone. It's not a big deal. But staying there when the Hierophant is actually the energy you need to embody. Staying there when you can be embodying the Empress and the Hierophant, so super, super wealthy energy. It just shows you that it's about how large you're wanting to manifest right now. How much are you willing to ask for? Three of Cups. For a lot of you, that's difficult because you have anything that you put too much into, you begin to be afraid that that thing will somehow get taken away from you, or there's some sort of competition, or what about this? What if? What if? So let me show you these cards, but if you feel like you're in somebody's heat scope right now, yeah, here we are. The dog days of summer, playing cat and mouse with ourselves, I would say, more than anybody else. You can see yourself as both the characters in that movie, actually. It works really well that way. I was just like taking it apart last night so I could talk to you about it, but it's so well done that really talking about it just demeans it and diminishes it. You need to watch it to understand the complicated point at which Cancerians are at, which is you may have already found the thing you love either to do or the person you want to be with or both. And now you feel all these external obstacles coming at you to either make sure that is what you want, or the eclipse took the things that you were super sure about and now it's throwing obstacles at you to make you aware of what you really want. Either way, the process can seem really jarring. It can be really upsetting. It can seem like you were in somebody's scope, like someone's got like a target on you. But I think it's just the unrelenting waves of your element that want to push you far enough away from the eclipse and everything that we're leaving behind right now that you can't go back, because you might try. And in those moments, it's very important to realize what you actually want to work towards moving into the future, because if you don't have something that you can set in your mind now as saying, no, but this is why I don't want to do that. This is why I don't want to regress, because I have this idea in my head of what I want for my future. As long as you have that, you will be able to be swept along with this tide. And and get very far when you get back up on your feet. I'm not presuming you're, excuse me, I'm not presuming you're up on your feet yet. I know you're floating or trying to float. But when you get that far, right, you want to be able to keep floating down this sea of change. If you're getting stuck, if you're in any way still reminiscing or being self-loathing because whatever was lost in the eclipse, whether it was a part of you or it was something else or someone else or money or whatever, you're holding on, Four of Pentacles, to such little, so little in terms of material, when the Hierophant right after it is like, you have no need, and it's keeping you from so much, emotionally and in terms of material wealth. Your fears are really playing on you. And it's interesting because we opened up Cancer season also talking about fear, but this fear is specifically material. It's either you're not having any money problems and you're just feeling a ways. You're feeling like somehow you're failing. Or you're feeling like you're failing and you're having money problems and that's making you feel like your relationship is going to fall apart. Or if it's not either of those things, there's something really primary to you. Something that you thought was inherent to your personality that got ripped away during this eclipse, and it's left you holding on to anything you can in its wake. And that may be some sort of material satisfaction, which then, of course, will mean that will start to slip away because we can't hold on to false things. Right? Okay, so let me show you these cards and get out of this heat. Watch it. It's really good. I'll be right back. Cancer. All right, now that you can see the cards and they're not in heat signature, let's start again. I hope I got my point across though. Four of Pentacles. It's like putting a target on your back, holding on to something too tight, especially something that you know the eclipse is already taken away. At this point, you're holding on to remnants of something. It's not even really there anymore. The Hierophant is the Taurus card. It is fixed energy. Be careful with your stubbornness. Be careful with your need to hold on to certain traits, to certain principles, to a certain way of doing things, to a certain person, when it may be becoming more and more obvious that it's ripping you in two. To maintain this level of stubbornness and fixed energy will be detrimental only because your season supercharged your watery abilities, and you are very watery right now. So why do I feel like hanging on to things? That's not my nature, but it is your nature to survive. If you've got it in your head that the only way to survive is to hang on to this person, this idea, this identity, this job, and then that thing seems to be taken away from you, of course you're going to flip out. But Leo season is about showing you now that you don't need anyone, and that's not a lesson that's easy for Cancer to learn. It can make you feel persecuted. Be careful what you write, be careful what you say, be careful what you let into your mind from others, be careful with your words. As long as your words are encouraging and full of love, send them. If they are not, don't send them. It will only diminish you. And it'll look doubly as foolish when you start to do super well again. And the doing super well is coming, but it has to do with focusing and understanding why you're doing what you're doing. If you're working in any sort of a situation where you really don't like it, then we're still stuck 6 months ago where you're still needing to work out of that energy. If you are in a much better place and you're working for yourself and you're waiting for the money to come in, you can already see how it is beginning to come in. Don't distract yourself with other matters then. Don't take on any partners right now. Don't take on any business partnerships right now. This is not the time. And also, it's not the time to worry about what's going on with the person in your life. If there is a Virgo in your life, regardless of how sheltered they may be at the moment, how they may have sequestered themselves, They are still very much a part of your life. They are very serious about it, and they're waiting for you to harness this high priestess energy before they can really commit. Because they're definitely there. They want to commit, but they're waiting for you to own your power. The Empress is also about owning your power. The Hierophant is also about power and wealth being a given. Your imprints need to be updated. If you got your shell caught in that lunar door, it was crushed. There's no need to hang on to something that's crushed. You need to move forward with a new shell now. And no, that shell may not be as big, but it may be a lot more abundant. Whatever version of you had to leave with that eclipse, it had to leave so this high priestess energy can emerge, so you can become more committed to this hermit ideal person, job, friend. And what is that hermit ideal? It's quality in your work, it's love, it's service, it's healing, it's being attentive, it's being a very conscientious partner. You are being asked to take on those qualities as well, especially if there's a Virgo in your life, because they're going to expect that back from you. And the way to be able to reciprocate that level of care and love is to harness a much broader energy than what you may be feeling right now. You may not be feeling as magnanimous as the High Priestess. And yet, by the end of the month, you are being asked to embody exactly that if you want the rest of the blessings that are put aside for you. You have to show with your actions and the work you put into your emotional life now that you are ready for bigger things than what you've already been given. And wherever you find that doubt, wherever you're wishing or hoping that there was more clarity, I think you should wait. I think that the Three of Cups is not as ambiguous as it looks. I think towards the beginning of September, you will see exactly why the Three of Cups was so beneficial, even if it was a bit stressful. But we'll look at that more in the extended. Let's pull our cards for our extended. See what comes up, not just in relation to the Three of Cups, but just what we want to look at as we progress further into the month, how we're dealing with those anxieties, and what's going to bring us more into this High Priestess energy and away from the stress or the worry of the Three of Cups energy. It doesn't have to be a third-party situation. It's just something where you feel like you're losing out. Something that's being done where you're the odd man out. This can also be about feeling like you're being left behind by people that are your contemporaries, people that you felt competitive with, and now you're feeling like they're doing so much better than you. There's all these strange checklists, Four of Pentacles, stuff that you could be holding on to that's really hurting you now because you're applying these impossible standards to yourself, when all of it is just a way to make yourself feel bad because you just happen to feel bad right now. Right? Then the Cancerian brain looks for reasons why it feels bad. Well, there is always this, and there is always that, and there is always this. But August in Leo season is about teaching you how to focus on the good stuff, how to focus on the parts of you that don't need to be hung on to. They're just always there. They're effortless, and they don't require any work on your part. So for the extended, we have that Earth sign again, Page of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Pentacles, so talking about money, and then the leaving and the progress. And all the good that comes from it. Great. Gemini card, definitely coming up with that Five of Wands. Yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, Cancer. Watch heat. See this all play out. with some guns and some bank robberies too. I love you guys. I'll see you in September.